Buffalo just built a $2.1 billion stadium, and they didn't put a roof on it. When it snows, everyone gets snowed on. When it's cold, everyone freezes. Most people think that's crazy, but Bills fans think it's perfect. Let me tell you why this matters. Football makes tons of money these days. The Dallas Cowboys are worth $13 billion. Even the worst teams are worth billions. When teams build new stadiums now, they go all out. Los Angeles built SoFi Stadium for $5 billion. It looks like a spaceship landed in California. Minneapolis built US Bank Stadium with this beautiful glass roof. Atlanta built one where the roof opens and closes like a camera lens. These places aren't just football stadiums anymore. They're entertainment centers, concert halls, event spaces, built to make money every single day of the year. You need a roof for that. Can't have concerts in the rain. Can't have events in the snow. Glass walls look expensive and modern. Fake grass is easier to take care of than real grass. Then Buffalo announces they're building new Highmark Stadium. Open summer 2026. Costs will be $2.1 billion. No roof. No glass walls. No fake grass. Real grass they have to mow every week. Whatever weather comes, the stadium takes it. People keep asking Buffalo the same question. Why are you building something so old-fashioned? Buffalo's old stadium has been standing since the 1970s. It's one of the oldest in the league. The concrete is cracking. The bathrooms are terrible. The whole thing needs work. Fixing it up would cost almost as much as building new. When you renovate old buildings, you're trying to fit new stuff into an old shell, and that old shell needs fixing too. So building from scratch made more sense. But here's where people get really mad. $850 million of that $2.1 billion came from taxes, money from regular people living in Buffalo and New York State. Should working people pay for a billionaire's football stadium? That's a fair question to ask. It's one of the biggest tax-funded stadium deals in NFL history, and the thing doesn't even have a roof. City officials said the stadium helps everyone, brings visitors to Buffalo, creates jobs. Money goes to restaurants and hotels, helps the whole city grow. But studies show that's usually not true. The money mostly goes to team owners and rich investors, not to regular working people. Was that annoying for people who don't even like football? Of course it was. But there was another side to this story. Without this deal, the Buffalo Bills were seriously thinking about leaving, moving to a different city that would give them a better offer. Sports teams do this all the time. When they don't get what they want, they pack up and move. And Buffalo has had the Bills since 1960. Over 60 years. Losing them would absolutely break the city's heart. So Buffalo made the deal. The team stays. The stadium gets built. Construction is almost done right now, just across the street from the old stadium. Look at the newest NFL stadiums around the country. They look like buildings from the future. You'd barely guess they're for football. Roofs covering everything. Glass and metal everywhere. Built for concerts, shows, festivals, big events. Football season only runs from September through January. That's about half the year. The rest of the time, these stadiums need other ways to make money. So they host concerts, festivals, conventions. They're not really football stadiums anymore. They're event centers where football sometimes happens. Buffalo designed new Highmark Stadium for one thing only: football. That's it. Nothing else mattered. Everything about this place focuses on the team and the fans. No extra stuff. No compromises. Just football the way it's meant to be played. Buffalo weather is brutal, really brutal. Games in December feel colder than anything most people have ever experienced. Snow piling up on the seats, wind cutting through your coat like it's not even there. But Bills fans absolutely love it. They call it home field advantage. The weather becomes part of the team. Visiting teams from warm cities like Miami or Los Angeles come to Buffalo in December and freeze. They can't play their best football when they're that cold. Team ownership wanted to keep that outdoor feeling. The snow, the cold, the wind, real weather, real football. But they also wanted modern technology to make this stadium special. Smart design, new materials, better engineering than the old place. And let's be honest, skipping the expensive roof saved them millions of dollars too. This stadium looks pretty simple when you first see it. Just a big brick building, nothing fancy. But up close, the technology is actually really smart. The bottom uses special bricks called iron spot bricks. Old buildings in Buffalo from 100 years ago use the same kind. It connects the stadium to the city's history, makes it feel like it belongs here. The outside walls have dents and patterns that match buildings from 1939. Little design touches that tie this place to Buffalo's past. But the coolest part is the 4,400 steel panels covering the outside. Each panel has thousands of tiny holes punched in the shape of the Bills logo. Those holes aren't just decoration, they actually mess with the wind. Buffalo gets hammered by wind all winter long. Without help, wind whips over the top of the stadium and swirls around inside. Makes the seats freezing cold and completely miserable. The holes in those panels catch the wind, break it up, slow it down, stop it from spinning around inside the bowl. This keeps fans warmer during games. It also helps the quarterback throw better because the wind isn't pushing the ball around as much. Wind is bad, but snow is even worse. Buffalo gets about 95 inches of snow every single year. That's almost 8 feet. One of the snowiest places in the entire country. Snow is part of watching Bills games. It's part of the experience. It gives the team an advantage because other teams aren't used to playing in it. But snow is also cold and wet and heavy. It puts stress on buildings, makes everything harder. The stadium was never going to get a roof. Ownership wanted December football in Buffalo to feel real. Snow falling on the grass, fans bundled up in winter coats. Actual weather, not some climate-controlled bubble. But they still wanted to keep fans as dry and warm as possible. A huge canopy stretches out over the seats. It's shaped like a funnel, pointing down and inward. When snow starts falling, sensors notice the temperature dropping. That automatically turns on the biggest snow-melting system in the entire NFL. Hot water runs through pipes built into the canopy. The heat melts snow as it lands. It also sends warmth down to the people sitting below. The canopy covers about 60% of all the seats. The concrete seats also have heating built in. Keeps them warm so people aren't sitting on frozen concrete. The grass field has heating underneath too, so it stays soft and playable even in freezing weather. But the canopy does something else really cool. It traps sound. Completely open stadiums let noise escape up into the sky. The crowd can be screaming, but the sound just floats away. The steel canopy is angled specifically to trap sound inside the bowl. It bounces noise around, echoes it back through the stands, makes the whole stadium louder and more intense. The old stadium held 72,000 people. This new one has 60,000 regular seats. That sounds like fewer people, but there's also a special standing section that can fill 5,000 to 10,000 more fans. Standing fans make way more noise than sitting fans. They jump around. They get more into the game. Creates better energy. Soccer stadiums in England started doing this a few years ago. Buffalo copied the idea. The seating goes all the way around in a complete circle. No gaps. No empty corners. Energy flows all the way around the bowl. Bills fans call themselves Bills Mafia. They wanted that energy everywhere. The upper deck sits closer to the field than any other stadium in the entire NFL. The cheapest seats in the house are closer to the action than anywhere else in professional football. You might forget the final score in a few years, but you'll remember how it felt being there, how close you were, how loud it was, how alive everything felt. Buffalo is trying to create the most personal stadium in football. Fans close enough to hear players calling plays, close enough to feel every big moment, close enough to matter. That's what live sports should be all about. Some people look at pictures of this stadium and make fun of it. They call it a big brick box, a warehouse. Say it looks boring compared to those fancy new stadiums. The designers don't care at all. Every single great stadium gets criticized before it opens. People complain about how it looks, say it's ugly or weird or boring. But once fans fill it up and games actually start, all that criticism just disappears. Nobody cares what it looks like from outside when they're inside watching their team. But there's still no roof on this thing, and that matters for some stuff. Roofs let you host events all year long, concerts in the middle of winter, festivals when it's raining, big shows that make tons of money. Having a roof turns a football stadium into a year-round money machine. New Highmark Stadium just accepts whatever weather comes. Snow, rain, wind, whatever. So will Buffalo ever host the Super Bowl here? Almost definitely not. Buffalo in February is brutal cold. Like, really, really cold. Getting people to travel to smaller cities for the Super Bowl is already pretty hard. Now, add freezing weather and snow and no roof, it's just not happening. But you know what? This place wasn't built for the Super Bowl. It wasn't built for summer concerts. It wasn't built to host festivals or conventions. It was built for Bills fans. The people who show up to games in December wearing shorts and body paint. The ones who jump through tables and parking lots before games. The ones who have been coming to games for 30 or 40 or 50 years. That's who this stadium is for. The steel frame is completely done now. Construction wraps up in the next few months before summer 2026. The first game appears this year. Those other new stadiums like SoFi and US Bank are absolutely amazing. Beautiful buildings, incredible engineering, really impressive stuff. But something feels special about Buffalo building a stadium for people who just purely love football. Not for concerts, not for events, just for the game. This place takes everything that was good about the old stadium and adds modern technology. It brings the Bills into the present while honoring where they came from, respecting the past while moving forward. When you walk into new Highmark Stadium, you'll still feel the same Buffalo game day feeling that people have felt for decades, just with nicer bathrooms, better food, more comfortable seats. But the soul is the same. So which matters more to you? A fancy stadium with every modern feature? Or a simple place built just for the game and the people who love it? Tell us what you think in the comments. And if this story touched your heart, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about what really matters.